Hey everybody, this is Brian, and I wanted to do a special post today in honor of somebody that's really special and important to me. On January 27th, just before midnight, my grandpa, J. Carl Brooksby, passed away, and today is his funeral, and so I wanted to just start something in his honor. If you know me, you know how critical and integral in my life my grandparents were. I had 3 grandparents growing up, and never knew my grandpa Hatch, but my grandma and grandpa Brooksby, which were my mom's parents, I got to spend a lot of time with them, and they've been here for a long time. And my grandma passed away in July of almost 6 years ago, so it's 5.5 years ago now. And my grandpa Brooksby has been at home, at his home with his kids. 2 of his sons have taken care of him as far as like the day-to-day, and I know his other 2 kids, my mom being one of them, have done a lot to be there for him. But one, I totally miss my grandpa, and I love him. And he taught me so many things that were so important in my life. You see, out of all the grandkids, there are the boys in the family. When I was younger, in teenage years, the boys lived either far away, and so the one grandson that Grandma and Grandpa Brooksby had was me. That was close. I'm saying that was close by, and I would do their lawn. I'm not saying that any of my other cousins wouldn't have done that had they been in town. I'm sure they would have. But that was a special time in my life to be able to share time and attention with my grandma and grandpa. And I understood, as silly as a lawn is, their front and their backyard, as silly as that is, it might not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but I got to know like if they were particular and how they wanted things and how they expected things and what they wanted it to look like, and added different things to my list of lawn care items to do, whether it's bushes and other things. So I really appreciated that time that I got to spend with my grandma and grandpa, and I feel like I got close to them because of that. My grandpa was 96. Later this year, he would have been 97, so he's lived a long life and done a lot of great things, and for me has been a great example. And so I'm not going to go on too long here, because my intention is to pay tribute to my grandfather over 2020, this whole year. So this will be first of many, and maybe you don't want to pay attention and maybe you do, but I implore you that people in your life matter, and there are people that shaped your life that matter. And I think that if you'll take a seat and listen to a couple of these things, I'm going to keep them pretty short here, just a few minutes. But I think that if you'll pay attention, you'll learn some really cool things about my grandpa. So he was a poet, and I love poetry, and I love like lyrics and rhymes, and he made a lot, and he memorized a lot. And one of the attributes of my grandfather that I really, really love and appreciate is that he always kept his mind sharp, and it was for the purpose to serve my grandmother. My grandmother's health wasn't always great, but she did never tell us that it wasn't great. She hid that, but I know Grandpa knew, and he was always there for her. And she had several things that she went through, and my grandpa always knew that if he didn't keep himself sharp, then the both of them would go downhill pretty quickly. And so he was just sharp, and he memorized poems, and he wrote poems, and he memorized them, and he spoke them, and I thought that was really cool. So what I want to do for you here, these are not my poems. The things that you'll see on here, that sometimes there are going to be some personal stories, and I know that many of my family members I hope will appreciate some of the things that I share here over the next year. But the things that my grandfather shares are not mine. They're his. He wrote some of these poems. Other ones that I'll share, he didn't write, but he loved them, and I think that they're great poems as well. And so I want to share with you one of the poems that just felt most poignant, being today that it is his funeral. And so I want you to listen to what he has to say, take it to heart, and make a difference in your life, because he made a huge difference in my life. My grandmother as well. My grandmother on the other side, very impactful people to me. But my grandpa, he definitely taught me a lot. And so listen to this poem, check it out. This is an original poem that he wrote, and I think you're really going to love it if you have any sense of how awesome my grandfather was. And I'll be sharing stories about the things that I admire about him throughout this year. So check out this poem, and I'll see you pretty soon, next week.
This is Just Do It. If there's a job that you must do, just do it. It doesn't help to sit and stew, hop to it. You should never hesitate, or you're apt to finish late. Then unto yourself you'll state, I blew it. If you have a truth to say, just say it. If you have a prayer to pray, then pray it. You should always learn what's right, then you should seek for heaven's light, then speak it out both day and night. Don't delay it. If there's a sermon you should preach, then preach it. If there's a lesson you should teach, just teach it. Stand up tall and face the crowd. Speak up boldly, clear and loud. If there's a goal you'd like to reach, then reach it. Because you have one life to live, be happy. When there's some service you can give, be snappy. Serving others is God's way. With His help, it seems like play. Serve other folks, then you will say, I'm happy.